we've made a lot of progress. I mean, we've, over the last 4 years, done 1,500 animals that have been spayed and neutered.
It's a very democratic game, cornhole, because anyone can
do it. So in studio today with us is Jennifer Wong and Victoria Rose, and they're with Roatan Operation Animal Rescue, correct? Right. How long have you guys been working together? Because when I wrote you to do the interview, you said you would do it. Then you said, oh, can I bring Victoria Rose with me? We're our right-hand men. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So obviously you two work together to do the planning for everything that's going on.
Yeah. She is the secretary for ROAR Honduras, and I'm the secretary for ROAR US.
Okay.
But we've been working together since at least, I want to say 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Since
about 3 years. Yeah.
COVID.
How long has ROAR been around?
Since 2018.
2018.
We were founded in 2018. Our first full year of work was 2019.
Is ROAR officially an NGO?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So that's important. Now, over the years since I've been here, I've seen, many organizations that have their hearts in the right place that don't set this stuff up properly. And eventually there's a hand slap, or worse, they close. And that's not productive in helping these animals. So what is ROAR's goal and obligation?
Want me to?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, ROAR's focus and our goal is to keep animals in the community, in their homes, where there is a home, and provide spay-neuter services and emergency medical services. Our goal is to keep healthy animals in the community and to reduce the overpopulation on the island.
Okay. And how is that going? Because somebody pointed out to me that they, compared to years ago, that they seem to see fewer animals on the side of the road.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's a cultural challenge in dealing with the communities. From a North American perspective, they don't look at pets the same way we do at home.
Right.
But we're gaining traction every day. We've begun programs in the school system teaching children about animal care and animal welfare. We do classes and seminars on the importance of spay-neuter, what it means to your dog, what it means from their health, the reduction of animals in the community, the number of dogs you have to feed in your home, that type of thing. And we've made a lot of progress. I mean, we've, over the last 4 years, done 1,500 animals that have been spayed and neutered.
That's amazing.
And in addition to that, it's vaccines, 750 animals vaccinated against, all the usual diseases. Emergency medical care is over almost 1,000 now. And that's the dogs you see hit, dogs that are suddenly coming down with disease because no one treated them because they weren't spayed and neutered, and
right. I know it's possible, because it's happened to me, where you give your dog the medications, for instance, for heartworm. So you have heart guard, and you give them the tick meds. Mm-hmm. And sorry, it didn't work. Now that's something that is an easy assumption to make, because I'm responsible. Everybody wants to think they're responsible, mm-hmm. but you don't notice the symptoms of something like heartworm until it's advanced,
right? Because
all of a sudden your dog's coughing, lethargic, and and they're like, what's wrong? And still, that may not mean anything to you if you're not constantly washing your pet. So I say this as kind of an advisory, precautionary tale mm-hmm. to anybody who's got an animal, that on this island, because of the rampant disease state that tends to persist in the general population that's not homed, mm-hmm. It's easy to transfer. And dogs like to go sniff.
Yep.
And when dogs sniff, they smell and take in things that probably could hurt them. I saw a chart, maybe you can help. If a dog is not neutered, if there's a non-neutered male and female, mm-hmm. and the dogs that they produce aren't neutered, how many dogs can that result in like a year? It's a crazy number.
It's crazy. It's not so much, in a year, a dog can have multiple litters. So, one dog, one male, female, you've got a couple of litters. So you're probably up to, at that point, 24 animals?
Right.
If you figure 8 animals in a litter. But then exponentially, the next year, you've got 8 litters worth of animals having babies.
Right. So, I mean, it's in the thousands.
It jumps very quickly.
In a couple of years.
Yeah.
Thousands
easily.
of animals.
Yeah.
And so, in talking to people who live here, I know there's like a cultural thing about demasculating the animal because it's the guy. I mean, we all men tend to think this way, and you're like, well, why would I do that to the dog? I wouldn't do it to me. And there's a rumor that's gone around, and I talked to somebody else about this, where they're like, well, if you do that, the dog won't be a good defender of the house and so forth. They don't understand the psychology of animals, do they?
No, and it has nothing to do with the macho-ness of the animal.
Right.
This is a health concern.
Right.
A neutered male will not roam as much
Right.
away
Won't
from
leave the
home.
house. Won't get hit
Right.
by a car.
Well, there's no guarantee here, but again, it reduces the chances of the animal roaming into the street, chasing after female dogs. TBT, the disease, it's a sexually transmitted disease that causes cancer in animals.
Okay.
Right?
Didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's
So
ugly.
fix the animal. You reduce the amount of time the dog is out roaming, and you eliminate the possibility of TBT. Yeah, it's important to understand and know what the signs are that you're looking for and to notice changes in your animal. If you're a parent, you know your children, you know when your children are not behaving the same way
Right.
as they normally do.
Right.
And that's how I would equate it. If you see a change in your pet, no preventative medicine in the world is 100%, whether it's human or animal.
Right.
Right. So it's incumbent on the owner to notice the change and do something about it and not wait till the dog can't get up and stand and is, unable to lift its head.
That's a problem. How do people make donations to Roar? What would be the easiest way if they had to make them?
Well, they can make a donation through our website,
Which is
roarrescue.org. But it's
RoarRescue.org.
Roar, yes, but it's Roar, RoarEscue.
You have an event coming up on the 21st
Yes.
of October?
Yep, it's the 3rd annual Roatan disc golf and cornhole tournament.
So if you don't throw a frisbee, basically not frisbees, but they're discs.
They're discs. They're a little bit smaller than frisbees.
Yes.
And heavier.
Yeah.
Because you have to hit a target.
Right.
Or a basket in their lingo. But, so you can throw a frisbee and you can throw bean bags.
Oh, yeah.
If you can throw anything.
Well, cornhole is really popular on this island.
It is.
People really take it seriously.
They do.
And I scratch my head, but I'm like, well, I like golf, and that's a ridiculous sport to play because to get good at it, you really have to spend some time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
these guys practice cornhole.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think it's also, it's a very democratic game, cornhole, because anyone can
do it.
and it's a board on the ground, so it's like children and adults can play.
Right.
Frisbee, disc golf, anybody can play that. Also, you could. You
Yeah.
just have to
Somebody
throw
said,
a
is it
frisbee.
really a sport if you could walk around smoking and drinking while you do it?
It's a sport in Roatan, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the 21st.
Yes, the
And
21st.
it's taking place. So getting to that location is kind of interesting because you go up West Bay Hill, and before you get to the top of West Bay Hill, it's almost the last right turn. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's literally the next right turn after Luna Beach.
Okay.
And then you follow signs to the boat bar.
Right.
And I think everybody at this point knows the boat bar's been around for a couple of years now.
Well, yeah, but even I only went to the boat bar the first time recently.
Oh,
I'm
you
just
have to
gonna-
go more then.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, it's real.
Keep heading down the hill, bear to the left.
Towards the beach.
And then you
Following
start
the
seeing the
signs.
disc golf signs. I saw that
Yeah.
finally. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, so this is where it is.
Yeah. But it's really interesting with the disc golf because you get to go into the jungle or the forest and hike in there, and it's peaceful. So it's fun to actually play or hike or go for a walk in there.
No, I think it'd be great. So for those of you who don't know what Jen also does for the radio station, years ago when I first got here, I noticed that all the musicians, there was nowhere to find out where they were playing. And, all of the businesses that have hired musicians, they have this assumption that everybody knows where we are
Mhm.
and that everybody knows. I mean, and it's kind of, I learned this from being in radio that, and this is an example. In San Diego, I was with a radio station that had been around since the 60s, and we did a survey, a perceptual study, and said, okay, would you listen to this radio station if it played these kinds of artists? And people were like, yeah, if a station like that existed. In other words, we did exist, and they didn't know it, and this was less than 30% on a market of 3.3 million people. So we make assumptions about what we think people know only because everybody we know knows. Our friends that we associate with do know where the disc golf place is.
Right.
Of course, they're your friends. They've probably been there. The people who don't know and
Right.
probably don't care unless you make them feel that way. But this is something anybody can come and participate. So is there a cost to entry?
It's $10 per player per event.
Okay.
And then for disc golf,
So $10 to play cornhole. And
Yes.
if I want to play disc golf, just $10.
$10.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a deal to
And
me.
all the proceeds from the event and from the raffles and the 50-50, et cetera, all of that is going to go to the animals.
So 100% of that goes to the animals. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And you're close to the boat bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, when we get disc golfers who are interested in playing, that's usually the meeting place.
Okay, so everybody goes to the boat bar to get ready to go play.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Refreshments, entertainment, and I know you've got I think Emosh is playing.
Yes.
I think I saw.
Tommy, Scotty, and then Emosh.
Okay, great.
The music starts, I think, at 2.
Yes, music starts at 2.
And how long is the event going on?
Well, disc golf registration is going to start at 11, and they're going to tee off at 11:30.
Right.
And then at 2:00 is the cornhole registration, and then they start throwing at 2:30.
Okay.
Music is going to start at 2,
Okay.
and that will basically be continuous throughout the afternoon and evening.
All right. So they can find that on the Roatan Operation Animal Rescue Facebook page because I saw there was an event listed there.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But anyway, I was going to say Jen does the Roatan Music Scene Facebook page and keeps up with that, which, by the way, it turns out that when people come to Roatan, they use that site to find out about the music scene.
Mhm.
And because they type it in, and of
Right.
course Google goes, and thank you for updating it over the years. It went from doing text to doing graphics.
Yeah.
And it's really nice and everybody loves it. People write me about it. all the
I
time.
try.
You do a great job. I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
Okay. And I know that they're both from New Jersey, but if you listen to them, how do you get away with not having a Jersey accent?
I believe.
Can you do a Jersey accent?
No.
You can't even do it?
I can do it, but
can't.
I don't.
I worked real hard not to develop a Jersey accent. So
What? You didn't want to talk like that?
No, there you go.
absolutely.
Okay.
I can't break it out on command. I can only do it if I'm.
If you're in Jersey, do you find yourself picking it up?
No.
If I go to Alabama, I mean, immediately, I mean, there are certain things I say, that I do find are immediately Southern. Like if somebody's like, have you done this yet? No, I'm fixing to do it.
No.
I'm fixing to do it. So, well, anyway, we're fixing to have a fun time
Yes.
for some animals. Thank you both for coming on today. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you too.